everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, today I'm going to be doing a Kylie Jenner inspired makeup look. Here I am just starting off with some essentials, Vaseline, some Diet Coke and obviously some sweets. To prime my skin I'm going to be using the 24 karat gold primer from Revolution. I used this in my last video and I absolutely loved it. Make sure that when you do this part you have either washed or sanitized your hands because you don't want to be putting bacteria from your hands onto your face. For foundation today I'm going to be taking this Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation and I'm only going to be using a little bit of it as I'm going to use quite a bit of contour and concealer to sculpt my face. So for this part, I'm really going to sculpt out my face using a contour shade. Kylie Jenner has a really small forehead and I don't. So I'm going to use my contour shade to really shadow out my forehead, giving the illusion of a shorter forehead. So this process will look a little bit heavy and unblended at this point, but bear with me on this because once I put the concealer on to balance out the shadows and then blend it all together, it does all come together. It doesn't look patchy and messy like it does for the next few minutes. Remember to also take this up into your hairline so that it does all blend together. Kylie Jenner actually has really defined cheekbones and they are slightly higher up than mine, so what I am going to do is just place my contour shade a little bit higher than what I usually would do. And there's just me looking in the mirror like, trust the process, girl. To add some light into this makeup look, I'm going to use my Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I'm going to highlight the key areas, my nose, my chin and my forehead. Also for my under eyes, I'm taking the concealer slightly higher than I would for my usual makeup. Now to blend this all in, take a large foundation brush and sort of just go over the areas like you would if you were putting on foundation. The key is to just blend it all into one. I am just stamping the product in to not move it all around and then just blending over that. As my concealer wasn't really bright and I felt like this look really needed a bright concealer, I just went over it with a lighter one. This step is not necessary and just depends on the concealer that you use in the first place. So one of the main things I noticed about this look was how bright the cheeks were. So I'm going to start off by using the Plouise pink base on my cheeks. This is a liquid and I'm going to take it on the back of my hand and then blend it into my skin. And then I'm going to set this with a powder blush. This is Dollymix by MAC. So for this part, I'm going to set my under eye concealer. I'm going to take a mix of the ByTerry hyaluronic powder and also my Peaches and Cream setting powder. So Kylie Jenner has the best brows in my opinion. They are always sleek and really well defined. So what I was trying to do is emulate her shape. She has a high arch that sort of curves round. So I just took my time using my Makeup Obsession brow pencil to do this. I keep using the picture as reference and going back to it, even though my eyebrow shape is completely different and you're never going to get it exactly the same. You can always use techniques to enhance your brows and make it look like a different shape. So once I feel like I've got the eyebrow shape that I want, I will then carve them out using a concealer and a flat brush. I'm using the brush here to really scoop around the arch of my brow to give it that curved effect that Kylie has. So I'm just going to take a fluffy crease brush and I'm going to take some bronzer and I'm just going to work this into my crease. Instead of blowing this shape out, I'm keeping it quite concentrated around the corner of my eye. This is to give the illusion that I have a more almond type shape of eye. I'm just going to take some bronzer and then also put that on the under part of my eye using a flat brush. For liquid eyeliner, I'm going to start this in the middle of the eye and flick it out towards the end, avoiding the inner corner for this. Once I feel like I've got the shape, I will then go over it a couple of times just to really thicken it out and make it look more defined. Taking the tiniest bit of eyeliner, I'm just going to quickly define the inner corner, not much but just a little bit. I was actually going to use this colour from the Makeup Obsession Exhale palette, but as I put it on it was looking a bit green, so I ended up switching the colour completely, but I just thought I'd keep it in to show you that things don't always go to plan. Here I am just using a concealer to cover up any of that shadow that I had just put on. I went through my makeup collection to find a colour that was more blue, as every blue that I was using was coming up a mint colour, and I'm guessing this was because of my concealer that I'd placed down before. I found this Crisp Finish by Louise. This is a coloured base and this was just the perfect shade. I wanted the blue shade to pop, so I took a pencil brush and just dotted it on the corner of my eye using Urban Decay eyeshadow in the shade Shattered. For eyelashes, I just took my Maybelline Colossal Mascara and I took some 12mm Peaches and Cream lashes and I just added them in places just to really thicken out the eyes. As you can see, the mascara has just left a couple of marks at the top of my eye. I wait for this to dry down and then I take a brush with nothing on it and then just go over it just to make sure that there are no marks. Now for the lips, Kylie Jenner has iconic lips, as we all know. So I'm going to take this Maybelline lip liner and I'm just going to overline my lips. This lip liner is a soft cream lip liner, so I just fill in the rest of my lips using this as I felt like it didn't need another colour on top. I just took some setting powder and set the middle of my lips. This was just to give the illusion of a liquid lipstick even though I was just wearing a lip liner. I just added a little bit of setting powder to my nose as this area tends to go oily for me first and I really wanted it to stay in place. And here is the final look. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe and hopefully I will see you in my next video.